Hey guys, doing this is Andrew at FloryPB, and this is kind of a welcome back video, I guess. I've been on family vacation for the last 10 days. A couple people noticed that my stuff wasn't for sale on eBay. This is why, because eBay gets nutsy about not shipping things, and it was easier just to unlist everything with eBay and have them come back when I was back from vacation. I'm back today. Everything's back up for sale. And I got some new stuff to show you. Nothing's ready to go yet, obviously. I'm just getting back up to speed. But I'm going to do a couple unboxings. We're just going to talk a little bit, I guess. It's really a BS video. It's a Sunday. These are my prototype 2K2 Timmy boards. This is a wasp board. For comparison's sake, mine are a little bit bigger than the wasp board is. That's upside down. But 2K2 board. I got a solder on my dip switch up at the top. I have 3 separate connectors here that are all going to be up facing, which one is for DM4 style eyes instead of the Timmy style eyes, in case just be weird, because it can do it. The second one is for the new LED that you're going to get with my board versus the stock LED, because that's only 2 color. I'm going to have a full 4 color LED, or full color LED I should say. And the next one is a different momentary switch for the on-off switch if you don't have an LCD or don't want to use the LCD screen buttons and you have an LED board. That would be for that. That's going to be a separate purchase piece. Just I don't want to inundate everyone another $8 if you don't want it. The back has the pins for that and the chip. I'm trying to make sure it fits with the solenoid that goes right here. I got to do a little fitment checks and make sure everything's good. I still got to solder on the MOSFET, which is all the way at the bottom here, and the voltage regulator right there. But I got 5 for a prototype. It's the first set of those, and I'm going to build some soon and start doing a little testing with them, make sure they go. You'll see more on that soon. I got boxes, and this is how the boards come to me, basically. I don't know if it's the new stuff or the old stuff here, but this is how I get them. Let's see what I got. This is all sitting waiting for me from my coming back from my vacation. These are Angel IR3 boards. I'm running low, so I ordered another 25 of them. Obviously they're not finished, but a lot of the stuff is already on it. This is how they come from me, from the board manufacturer. And tape together. Really got tape down on these. So obviously with these boards, I always have to add the MOSFET. They don't carry my MOSFET that I use, so I always have to add the MOSFET. I add the trigger switch because they're all the same size roughly. It's just easier to source the ones I want to use on my boards myself and just solder them on. These also, they're out of stock, or they were out of stock on the correct voltage regulator, so I'm putting the voltage regulators on these. Should have 25 more of these, I think. But that's how they come in raw from the manufacturer of the boards. I'm always pretty happy with the quality of these. I've had very few duds coming from this company. This is JLC PCB out of China. I have very few issues with them. The biggest issue is like supply chain issues normally. Like I don't really use a lot of the I don't use the off-brand capacitors and fittings and components. I try to use everything on brand, brands that I know and I'm familiar with. And if I'm not, I'll look up the brand to see who they are, and I try to avoid the low budgetary stuff. I try to get a lot of stuff out of Japan when I can, especially for the resistors and capacitors and stuff like that, and diodes. Or Texas Instrument, Vishay, the big companies. They've been doing it for a while. Alright, these are new stuff then. And normally the way I do it is I order 5 of something to do my test run with. So that's like the least I can order to really get something. Alright, these are matrix boards. Take a look at them. So these are the 2-button boards. I kind of want it that this different. I'll see how that goes. I'll see how it feels. I went with this. I kind of wanted to bend it over like the old matrices did to be sticking into the bottom button port. But I'll figure that out as I go. I'm going to have to desolder these and put new ones on if these are good boards. But these came with the voltage regulators. They were in stock at that point. I still got to put the MOSFET on and the trigger switch that I want to use. Got to figure out which one I want to use. Right off the bat, I put this on the board backwards. It's facing down, not up. So I got to fix that. These boards are basically, you know, just testers right now because the LED doesn't work. But the idea of this board is this fits in an LCD frame with the 3-button ports in the back. And it can take both LED matrix style harness or LCD matrix style harness or die DM3 harness setups for the power and the solenoid or the 4-pronger. It has DM4. Let me get a better pointer here. It can use DM4 eyes, 3-pin matrix center eyes, I think these are, or these are the these are TMC eyes, and these are the 4-pin die or Jenny eyes, the bigger ones for those two. And then this is a secondary LED in case you want to move it, and that's not really so important for this one, but that's special. I'll have an LED for sale on a wire in case you want to move the LED somewhere. These are probably functioning boards. Unless I screwed up the actual wiring of it or the schematic, they're functioning boards, but clearly they're not going to work for an LED powered matrix, so they're not going to be for sale. But this is why I do a small run of 5. These are basically exactly the same, but as you can see, this is a 2-button board for the power and the eyes. For an LCD frame, this style is for an LED frame. It could take, again, either LCD or LED wiring harnesses, but these are for an LED frame board. And it's going to be a 1-button control board instead of the 2-button like the traditional DM4 and the traditional boards I do. This is the 1-button boards that I'm doing. And set up almost exactly the same, other than it has 1 button. And this is kind of the crux of this. The reason I have this additional LED light port is because if you have a really old matrix, like a Diablo matrix, like this one, this is this is the original matrix. This is pre having an LPR. It had a slide switch back here. That's just a slide up and down, which is in the correct buttonhole place for LED matrix. But there's no port, there's no additional hole for an LED light. So I put this port up here to be able to put an additional light in, so you can put a light around this area here or somewhere else if you choose to custom install a light somewhere in order to see the programming going on. But that's why I did the port that way. So trying to do my best to just encompass all the matrices, because the beautiful thing about the matrix was they really made them fairly consistently, at least with the plugs and the harnesses and stuff like that. But the frames were a little different, and they made the frames oddball. Like these particular ones won't fit in an aardvark frame, but I don't have one with me to figure out. I know that this bottom has to get cut off. So I don't know if you can see the little color gradient difference here. This bottom is just dead. So if you got to get rid of this bottom piece to custom install it in like an aardvark frame, you can. It's not going to affect anything. I made it that way purposely to try to just make these as universally usable as possible. But things I don't believe in, I hate having buttonholes on the back of the frame that aren't being utilized for anything. Like, that bothers me a lot. That's why I have the 2-button and the 1-button version. Just simple shit like that is like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a finished, polished product, but also be as universally acceptable as possible. Another thing I can't stand is like modifying the original equipment to make my board work. I don't want to do that either. I want everything to be very plug and play for you. These are also upside down, which is fine. I just got to change how I did them or double check to make sure I screwed it up and not them. Something. Don't know what it is. But with these new boards, I have a lot of new... The farther back, I guess, how do I want to say this? I guess the older I get with the paintball stuff, when I was doing the 2K5 stuff, the Angel stuff's always been very good at being very consistent. But the further back you go, normally, the stranger the stuff gets. Like, the stranger the connectors are. They're not all using the same kind of connectors at that point. And just, you know, they're doing weird things. Or just different things. Older things a lot of the times that aren't. Oh. More chips. More microchips. I'm kind of running short on the first set I bought, so here's more of them. This is open. That's scary. Okay. Oh, turn those. These are for another idea. You'll see that later. These are momentary switches. So the idea with this is, that's a wasp board. This is my 2K2 Timmy board. Obviously I'm using a matrix or a DM4 setup, so I need momentary action buttons and a 2K2, or let me grab a classic that I have on hand. So, like a classic or a 2K2 Timmy, Gen 1, Gen 2 Timmy, you got your switch there, which this can replace, though. Gotta double check, make sure I got the right size. This looks big. The switch there gets replaced. You have the LED light here. I think on the 2K2 it's on the other side, but you have an LED light. And then you got these two soft buttons. If you have an LCD version. If you have an LED version, you lose these two buttons. But my idea was, with my 2K2 Timmy board, because I need momentary action, was you have a choice. You can either keep your regular switch, turn it on and off, and kill the battery fully, which is nice. And then these two buttons here are going to turn the marker on and turn the eyes on and off. And obviously everything's controlled through the LED light. Or if you don't want to use these two, you don't have these two, they're broken, you can buy a momentary switch, which, you know, one flick would be, or hold it to turn it on or off, and then you just flick it to turn the eyes on and off, like my Quest boards and my 1-button Matrix boards. So that's kind of the thought process. I thought I got the right ones. These look a little big. I'll double check that, what I bought. But those are going to be with the 2K2 stuff. These are all right. These are LCDs. for the, LED lights for both my, the expansion light on the matrix boards and my 2K2 Timmy to get a correct light to them as well. These are my angled connectors, and these are the 4-pin JSTs for the LED lights to plug them, and these are my 90-degree connectors for my 2K2 boards. So this is going to be here. I'm going to solder these in place. And this is where the iRibbon goes, or the LCD ribbon goes, but I'm not using the LCD for anything. I have an LED style board. So I have these connectors going here instead. Again, this is DMIs because it's a DM board. Why not? You know, that I just have them as why not. Gives you an option to make your own harness or something like that if you ever need to or want to. I don't particularly love the 12-point and the 14-point harnesses on these. Or like, I guess it's better than the newer Molex or the 2K5 Timmy Molex. It's stronger, but it's just so huge and clunky and old that I just don't like dealing with it. But gives you options to do that. Everything else, I guess I should just go through that. You know, everything else, your 12 and your 14-point harnesses are going to just plug right into this board. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth a lot, and this is very off, but, you know, that's the way I'm doing it. Obviously, the button controls are going to work through the 12-point harness. The eyes are going to work through the 12-point harness. The solenoid is going to work through the 14-point harness. The on-off switch will still function through that. Everything's going to work that way if you want to keep the original stuff. You're going to have to plug in the new LED. The LED is going to just be sitting in there, the old one. When I do the installation video, I'll explain that to you. But, yeah, that's how the board is set up in comparison to a WASP board. Obviously, my height matters, so I went with the 90-degree fittings, even though they had this. But that just fits. I know it fits in the frame this way. I know we got tons of room up there to deal with in the 2K2s and the classics, so I don't know if I can get you guys to see that, but that looks good. So I'm going to build one of these soon and start testing it, making sure it fits in different applications, make sure everything's working the way I intend it to work, make sure I have the correct switch that I'm trying to give you guys when you guys need to buy a switch for it. But that's the way it's going to look roughly. Obviously, I'll solder on the dip switch there for the functionality of the DM board. But that's all the components for that I needed. Basically with these, I'm going to just leave these off and I'll solder these on myself because I kind of want them. Remember the old Tadao boards, or maybe even the Virtue boards? They had this style of LED light, but they just bend it so it kind of fits into the even the Eggy board does it, where I want to bend it 90 degrees so it fits nicely and touches the frame and covers the bottom hole or the LED port hole, because I just don't want to have that exposure like that. I want to keep it as tight as I can. I like that look better. So I'll desolder these when I check them. Obviously, I'll leave them off and I'll solder them on myself when that looks like a pain in the ass to do, but I'll figure it out. There's 4 of them. The voltage regulators are a pain in the ass themselves, so same thing. There's just 1 more. And I'll do that myself to get it to fit the way I want it to be. And I want to check these, test these out with obviously LCD. The LED I'm going to have to do later because I botched that one up. But I'll figure that out as I go. Can't believe I messed that up that bad. That upsets me. I have 1 more box. This is nothing new in this one. weird. Each one, they have different factories this stuff comes out of, and they have unique smells to them. They're not pleasant, but each one of them has a unique smell depending on where it came from. These are more 2K5 Timmy boards. I'm running a little low. I got like 14 left or so on my first run, so I got another run. I got to build them. These are a touch different. I realized my second LED wasn't really doing anything. I couldn't really see it the way I wanted to, so I dumped it and went with the single LED here. I want to see how that looks. I think it's going to work perfectly. I made this window bigger. I manipulated stuff a little bit to make this window bigger. Moved this a little bit. And, yeah, that's really all I did. I just cleaned up a couple things, a couple small things. And I'm running this instead of the original I did. If I hate them, I hate them, and I won't sell them, obviously, but I got a decent run of these. And the reason I can kind of do this is because a lot of the costlier items aren't on these boards the way they are. The MOSFET's one of the higher priced items. The LED's a little expensive, but that's a pain in the ass to put on myself. So, like, it's better if they do it. They're much better at it than I am. But the MOSFET's a high price item. The switch is a high priced item. These are kind of expensive, but they're not hard to salvage if these boards are junk for me to pull these off. The connectors are fairly cheap. They're like 80 cents, 60 cents, something like that from JST. These are high price, but again, this is the price I pay for the voltage regulator to have them install it versus me. It's very tedious to put these little guys on, and when they have them, I'll do it. But I would have them put the dip switch on too, but they only work on one side of the board to be cost effective. So these are on the other side of the board, so I got to do these myself on these boards. And I try to keep all the high price items off so I could get a bigger run and not feel so scared that I'm going to waste, a couple $100. I'll waste like $100, $200, not like $600 if I have them build the whole thing out for me. That's kind of how I go about doing it with them. And obviously if I botch it like this, that's the very first run. I do a small run. And when I'm confident with the product, I do a bigger run. I got a lot of boards to start building in the coming weeks. All these things are in stock, the existing items. So that's not a problem. I have boards. I just want to get on this before I don't have any boards and, I can't sell anyone anything, which I'm trying to. My goal is to always have an inventory of this stuff. If I have it for sale, I want to always have an inventory of it. Obviously, some of the more specialty things like the Rainmaker boards, there might be a little delay if I actually sell all 5 of them. I did sell 2 of them so far, which is funny. And like the Quest boards, which I still got to get released to you guys. That was my vacation, kind of slowed me down. This is Angel 05 Speed, more 05 Speed boards. I'm almost out of my first batch of these. It's a smaller run because I'm not going to sell these in the mass that I'm selling the like 2K5 Timmy boards in. This is a run of 10. Basically, when it's higher volume stuff like the IR3 boards, I'm selling a lot of IR3 boards, so I get 25 of them in a batch. The Timmy boards, I sell a lot of these, so I'm going to get 25 of them in a batch to do. These 05 Speed boards, they're more specific. Less people own 05 Speeds, less people are buying boards for them. I do 10 in a batch. And so I'm sitting on less product, but I still have a good inventory of product, basically. The matrices, I'll probably do 10 to start, see how it goes. And if they start selling quick, I'll up it to 25. That one's I'm a little... I don't know what to expect out of the Matrix community yet for those boards. The 2K2s, I'm probably going to do 10 as well, and I don't exactly know what to expect out of the 2K2 boards. I know, at least me, and I think most people like me, we tend to like the 2K5 stuff and the Gen 3 stuff, so a lot of people have switched the cool 2K2 bodies styles over to the 2K5 stuff. It's not hard to do, and there's not, I mean, there's a big market, but I'm not sure if there is. So I'll start slow, and if they're selling, I'll make more, and I'll adjust as it goes. But this is a lot of boards that I gotta build, and I'm gonna start doing that. I don't need you guys, I don't know what else to say. So I'm gonna start building boards, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this rant. Andrew at FloryPB, and I'm back. Everything's back up, and looking forward to dealing with people again.